John, and a heck of a pitching matchup to get this series going. A couple of former Cy Young Award winners, former teammates. Zack Greinke goes for Houston. Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers as they try to extend their winning streak to 8 games. Perfect on this road trip so far. They're going to have a bunch of support in Houston tonight. A bunch of Dodger Blue filing into Minute Maid Park, which will be at 100% capacity for the first time this season. Tonight should be an incredible environment in Houston. Welcome inside. Joe Davis and Orr Hershiser. So Kershaw for the Dodgers. Greinke going for the Astros here in Game 1 of this quick 2-game series.
2 veterans and their 2 friends. This is going to be an outstanding pitching matchup. And you think about Zack Greinke right now. He broke in throwing 94. Now he's about 88, 89, but learning to throw a little harder lately. But it's going to be mostly about the changeup and the curveball. And Clayton Kershaw, you know he's going to throw his slider. He's looking to have back-to-back good games. He's pretty much gone hot, cold, hot, cold for an outstanding season this year. You see with those 6 wins.
Both these guys are going to have their hands full tonight. These are 2 of the top offenses in baseball. The Astros #1 in runs per game.
Yeah, and they are doing it by putting the ball in play, not striking out, hitting a lot of extra base hits, but not home runs. So this is a tough lineup to go through because there's really no holes in it when you go 1 through 6. The bottom of the order a little weaker. The Dodgers right now hitting as a team. It doesn't even matter if there's spare parts in there. Max Muncy is carrying them. Gavin Lux can carry them. Chris Taylor can. A lot of hot bats and a lot of guys that are looking like they might get hot.
And for an update on a key piece in that lineup, we bring in Kirsten Watson.
Thanks, Joe. On Sunday, Mookie Betts scratched from the lineup dealing with shoulder soreness. But after the game, Dave Roberts said that he was dealing with it earlier in the week and was undergoing some treatment. Today, he's now been off 2 days rest. The training staff said that his shoulder is in a good place, so he's back in the lineup.
All right, Betts back in there for the first time since Friday night as the Dodgers and Astros play the first of 4 this season. The 2 teams that have won more games than any other franchises in baseball over the last 5 years. First pitch coming up on Sportsnet LA. Oh, the rematch of the 2017 World Series between the 2 teams that have won more games than any others in baseball over the last 5 years. They met 4 times last year. Obviously, no fans in front of just cardboard cutouts. The Dodgers won 3 of those 4 games. And tonight play in front of a full house in Houston. First time they'll have 100% capacity there. Lineup for the Dodgers here in Game 1 has Mookie Betts to lead it off. His first game since Friday. Justin Turner hits second, starts at third. Then Max Muncy, the second baseman. Will Smith DHs, so they get both catchers in the lineup tonight. Center field hitting 5th is Chris Taylor. Albert Pujols, who has terrorized the Astros throughout his career, especially in this ballpark, is the first baseman and 6th hitter. At shortstop, Gavin Lux. Matt Beatty's in left hitting 8th. And Austin Barnes does the catching of Kershaw and bats 9th. Zack Greinke now 37 years old. He's coming off back-to-back wins. 1 run over 8 innings in Oakland on Wednesday. In his 18th big league year, his 3rd with the Astros.
Broke in throwing 94. Now is down about 80, 89. His last start threw a little bit harder. Been working on that. But it's all going to be about the curveball and the changeup. He loves to mix you up. He's going to think at another level. Read your swing. Understand the scouting report. Process it all. And probably throw you a surprise.
Now the Dodgers have had their way with Greinke the last few times they've seen him. A 9.82 ERA for Greinke, including opening day Dodger Stadium in 2019 when they hit 4 home runs against him over 3 innings. Betts climbs in. Greinke winds and throws, and off we go with strike 1. And that is the fastball at 89 miles an hour on Mookie Betts, who has faced Greinke 5 times in his career and hit 3 home runs. On this 0-1, had a little hesitation in the delivery and took a ball.
When they put down the fingers, when Maldonado puts down the fingers down there, Greinke's still thinking at a different level than that. Like, what type of curveball? What kind of slider? What kind of fastball do I want to throw right here? Do I want to put a little cut on it? Am I going to throw my 2-seamer? He's doctoring the pitch even after the sign of exactly what he wants to do.
Drops it down to 68 for that curveball to get ahead of Betts 1 and 2. And comes back home with the next one. Another 68-mile-per-hour curve, 2-2.
68 then makes 88, 89, 90 really hard. And timing, that's the different part of hitting that a lot of people talk about, location and velocity. Well, the timing is a huge part that Greinke really tries to upset.
Mookie leading things off and taking ball 3. So first game since Friday from Mookie Betts. Saturday was just a day. Dave Roberts thought that he had kind of a mental reset, going through a bit of a rough patch offensively. A late scratch Sunday, dealing with a sore shoulder, and then the built-in off day yesterday. So a few-day break for Betts. On a 3-2, he swings and misses at a good slider from Greinke, one gone.
Mookie ran the pitch count up mainly because Zach wasn't throwing any competitive pitches there for a while, but this is a very competitive pitch in a 3-2 count. Make it look like a strike for that long and then hit the corner.
One away, Justin Turner stands in for the Dodgers. Be interesting to hear the crowd. Reports out of Houston are that it is 40% Dodger blue. Pantone 294 taking a big group there. That is ball 1 on Turner.
They were taking over planes. They were getting on 100 people getting on a plane flight, and they were Dodger fans. There they are.
Look at that. The 1-0 pitch. Turner fouls it off. It's 1-1. Dodgers looking for their 8th consecutive win and their 12th out of their last 13. Astros had been hot. They had an 8-1 stretch, then went into Texas and got swept by the Rangers over the weekend. Overall, they're 26-21, a game back in the division, trailing Oakland. Greinke to Turner with a 1-1. Ball 2.
Justin Turner, the only one not to reach as far as the regulars, including Urias yesterday. DJ Peters, who's right there with him, is not getting a hit. The only ones.
Waits on this breaking ball, serves it into right center field. Straw's going back to make the catch on the track. That thing carried pretty well. 2 up, 2 down here in the first inning. Up comes Max Muncy. Time for the Land Rover Performance Spotlight here, almost a third of the way into the season. Max Muncy leading National League position players in WAR.
He's having an outstanding year, and it really is another one of those quiet superstar years. Max usually with the home runs, but now the walks are still up, the power is still up, and he is hitting for average also.
WAR stands for wins above replacement, just a stat that attempts to give a player's full value, everything they bring. Greinke's first pitch to him is on the outside corner, strike 1. Just to itemize it a little bit more. You're touching off some of the key aspects of it, but all the things that go into the pot to make WAR. He gets on base. He leads the league in on base percentage. He hits for power. He's top 5 in slugging. He hits with runners in scoring position. Top 10 in the league in that category. He's number 1 defensively at first base this year in terms of defensive runs saved. And as a base runner, he's above average. So you put that all together, and by one measure, the most valuable player in the National League this year. And an 0-2 from Greinke. Muncy takes ball 1.
Throwing him 3 fastballs.
And a changeup. That's Greinke's best pitch. The league hitting just a little more than 100 against that. Clayton Kershaw takes the ball for the Dodgers after they go down in order 1-2-3 against Greinke. Kershaw to the mound when you come back. Here in game 1, this lineup leading baseball, score more than 5 runs per game. They've got 5 players hitting above 300. The top of the order is one of them in Jose Altuve. Then Kyle Tucker. Alex Bregman hits third, starts at third. Gurriel, Alvarez, and Correa through the heart of the lineup. The rookie Chas McCormick. Miles Straw in center, and the catcher is Martin Maldonado. 33-year-old Clayton Kershaw makes his 11th start this season. Those 6 wins, good for third in the National League.
Having an impressive year again. And he is throwing more sliders than fastballs for the first time in his career. And it's going to be a challenge today because he's facing a very good slider hitting club in the Houston Astros.
First up, Altuve, riding a 17-game hitting streak, attacks the first pitch, strike one. Altuve a .314 overall. And what has been a bounce-back season for him after last year, by far the worst year of his career. Pitches .219 and then had a miserable postseason where he had 3 throwing errors in the first 3 games of the American League Championship Series. Takes a curve in the dirt. It's 1-1.
He is hot right now. He is swinging the bat very well. A lot of multi-hit games.
On this 1-1, Altuve grounds one to short. There's Gavin Lux for out number 1 with Pujols coming off of the bag to grab it. If Dodger pitchers strike out 10 tonight, everybody gets a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow. Jack in the Box with the purchase of a large drink at LA area restaurants. Might be a little tougher to come by those Jumbo Jacks these 2 games. The Astros strike out less than any other team in baseball.
They put the ball in play. They're at best their offense when they're hitting with runners in scoring position, which they do really well, and they're also really good when they walk at least 3 times. Not striking out at all.
And that has been the case for this group for years. Elite contact rate. Kyle Tucker fouls off the first one from Kershaw, and both hitters so far, as we so often see, swinging at the first pitch.
Altuve got one on the inner half. Tucker right there got one near the middle, but it was 92. That's encouraging.
Yeah, Kershaw's fastball's gotten hit around a little bit this month. Velocity's been down a little bit. Gets a fastball at 92 again by Tucker. Any chance there's any extra juices flowing for Kershaw being back in this ballpark facing this jersey?
You're not always going to admit it, and we know earlier in Clayton's career he wouldn't admit it, but he's getting a little bit more open in his post-game interviews. You might hear something about that today. Definitely didn't do any interviews before the game.
Yeah, no.
But definitely, yeah, I think you get some juices flowing. I think you'd look for any stimulus you can to make every game as important as possible, like he has throughout his whole career. But that's one stimulus I don't think that'll ever go away.
Ahead of Kyle Tucker 1-2. Kershaw comes back home and strikes him out with a curve falling into the zone. 2 up, 2 down for Clayton Kershaw.
The curveball, the slider changed his life. The curveball has been there. And because he couldn't land the curveball early in his career, is really why Joe Torre, and they went to him and said, you know, you need to come up with another breaking pitch. That completely changed his life.
You said it, though. That curve has always been there. An opponent's now 4 for 31 against it this year. Looked like it had some 2-seam action to it, taken off on him for ball 1 to Alex Bregman. Top 10 in the league in average and in on base. He's reached in 12 in a row. And like Altuve, bouncing back from a relatively down 2020. Same kind of action there.
Yeah, both to the arm side, and I like it. You know, he lives into righties. He knows how studied the Astros were on him, and he hasn't changed an awful lot, but changing a little bit here.
Studied would be one way to put it. 2-1.
Clayton has so much room to his arm side, that part of the strike zone, because he lives so much in.
Coming in here A bouncing ball to Justin Turner. Greinke and Kershaw both go 1, 2, 3 in the first inning. Kershaw does it on 11 pitches. Off and rolling in Houston.
Brought to you by your Southern California Lexus dealers. Sweep versus swept. That's the Dodgers coming off their second sweep, and the Houston Astros got swept by the lowly Rangers. Friend is foe. That's Greinke. You know him. Now keep hitting them. And home runs plus runners in scoring position equal a win. You do them both, you're going to kill the guys. If you do one or the other, you'll be just fine.
First pitch swinging from Will Smith. And a pop up to the second baseman Altuve. 1 pitch, 1 out for Greinke.
Dodgers hitting some home runs of late, 2 or more in 4 of the last 6 games. And the runners in scoring position, they are doing outstanding in that area too.
Well, Greinke, with that out there, has now reached 3,000 innings for his big league career. Just the 7th pitcher to do that in the wild card era. First guy to reach that mark since CC Sabathia. His 18th big league year now. Taylor stands in. 4 up, 4 down for Greinke today. Facing a guy now who has taken him deep before. That whistle's in there. Strike 1. Taylor 5th in the league in on base percentage, leading the league in runs scored. I asked Dave Roberts about him the other day, and Dave said, I can't help but smile when I talk about Chris Taylor. Doesn't matter where you put him, doesn't matter where you hit him, doesn't matter who he's facing, you know what you're going to get. In foul ground, Gurriel with room.
Couple of pop-ups for the Dodgers. This one in foul territory. Chris Taylor hoping it gets in the stands. Gurriel ends up having some room right by the rail. Nice job checking a few times and know where he's at. A lot of Dodger jerseys in the background of that replay.
Yeah, it is amazing how much blue there is. Albert Pujols, 5 RBIs in his first 6 games in the Dodger uniform. Back into the ballpark where he has done more damage than any park that hasn't been his home park. Obviously in St. Louis and in Anaheim, his best numbers. But he's hit 33 home runs in the regular season in Houston. He'd been in the same division as the Astros every season of his career with the exception of 1. Albert went from the National League to the American League 1 year before the Astros did. 33 regular season home runs here. 2 in the postseason, including that memorable one off Brad Lidge in 2005 to win Game 5 in the 9th inning. On a 1-1 from Greinke. Albert waits on a slider, pulls it to third. Diving Bregman knows he's got time and throws Pujols out. A 6-pick second for Zach Greinke, and no score in Houston. Kershaw tonight. It'll be Trevor Bauer tomorrow. As the Dodgers try to keep on rolling, looking for their 8th consecutive win tonight. And their 12th out of the last 13. Yuli Gurriel leads off the second for the Astros. 6th in the league in average, 4th in the league in RBIs. He's been Houston's best hitter this year. And he goes after the first pitch, pops it foul. Pujols over to make the catch. So they get Gurriel on 1 pitch.
Well, it came back a little bit. Gurriel looked like he was definitely going to get the still hit. Albert showed him. We've seen that Albert doesn't have a lot of speed leaving the batter's box. Right there, used it just enough.
Max Muncy brings a smile. Kershaw has retired the first 4, and up comes Yordan Alvarez.
Another first pitch swinger at Kershaw.
Aggressive, powerful 23-year-old takes a strike. Hard to believe he's still just 23. He's unanimous Rookie of the Year in 2019 when he hit 27 homers in 87 games, but then played in just 2 games last year. Underwent surgery on both knees. Fouls off this breaker, and it's 0-2.
Dodgers are catching him right in between. He's a little late on fastballs, a little out early on breaking stuff. See if Clayton tries to keep him in that rocking chair back and forth.
Because he is in a rare slump right now. I mean, really one of the only slumps he's gone through as a big leaguer. Below 200 over his last 8 games. The odd thing is, even though he's still hitting for power, putting up pretty good overall numbers, one of the most impressive things as a rookie was that for every walk, there was only 2 strikeouts. This year, for every walk, there's 9 strikeouts. That's a different guy. On 1-2, he strikes out again. Kershaw getting him with a curveball for his second.
All the outs on breaking balls in the first inning, and here he gets another one. That curveball is working, and he's landing it, at least getting it in the hitter's eye that he can land it for a strike and getting him to offer.
2 gone for Carlos Correa. Inside, ball 1. Softly bounced left side. There's Muncy over there in the shift, and another quick inning. Kershaw sits him down on 7 pitches. 6 up, 6 down for Greinke and Kershaw. T-Mobile coverage camp back in Houston, where we mentioned earlier they're saying 40% Dodger fans. Bringing the noise into Houston.
The emotions are still there. They are present because they haven't been able to voice their emotions. It's one thing to watch games. It's another thing to be there in person.
And as much energy as there is in there in that ballpark tonight, as Gavin Lux pulls the first one foul. It's going to be ridiculous at Dodger Stadium. Early August, Astros come there on a Tuesday and a Wednesday night. Dave Roberts said today exponentially better, those 2 games.
Well, it's not going to surprise anybody. It's going to be definitely all over the media, on talk radio. Fans are going to get revved up. Nomar had a great idea on the pregame show about getting a sanitation company to have a giveaway that day of like trash can tops that you could bang.
0-2 pitch. Outside on Lux, ball 1.
The loyal fans. Bucket list for people to follow their team on the road.
Changeup gets Lux swinging. Greinke's retired the first 7.
You do get another feel for what it's like for your team to go on the road. You know, you're actually going into kind of quote unquote enemy territory, and you get that vibe like, wow, it isn't like really, I don't know exactly where my seat is. I don't know where the hot dog stand is. There is kind of a culture shock.
Here's Beatty. Matt, not quite enough plate appearances to qualify, but if he did, he'd be 8th in the league in on-base percentage, just a touch below 400. Takes a first pitch strike. Starting in left field tonight. There's 2 games in Houston. Dave Roberts able to get the extra bat in the lineup tonight, using that spot to get Will Smith in there. Both catchers in there. Greinke home with an 0-1. Beatty watches strike 2. Greinke had his season high 8 strikeouts his last game, and he's already got 3 in this one. It's getting better and better as this 18th season goes on. Had a really rough few start stretch to finish April and begin May, but has won each of his last 2. ERA around 2 in that time. Beatty reaches out, drags a 66-mile-per-hour slow curve down to Gurriel. 2 up and 2 down. It's getting into Ephus territory there, buddy.
It sure is. Well, he's made an adjustment. He's using the curveball, but he's not throwing as many changeups tonight. We talked about these two pitchers both having a strength. Kershaw with his slider, he's using it the way he normally does. Greinke with his changeup, not throwing it quite as much yet. Really establishing the fastball and using the breaking ball.
And the other thing that you talked about with those strengths, what they also have in common is that happens to be one of the strengths of the lineup they're facing too. Dodgers, one of the best changeup hitting teams in the sport. As Barnes looks at ball 1. And the Astros, one of the best slider hitting teams. Barnes going through a good stretch. RBI in 4 of his last 5 games, including his first home run of the year Saturday in San Francisco. Pops this one into center. Straw coming on and cutting in front of Tucker to finish the inning. Another quick one for Greinke. Just 9 pitches, and he's retired the first 9 in order. During this 7-game winning streak, Dodgers starting pitchers have a 1.32 ERA, and that's helped bring it down to a 2.74 for the season, which is the best in baseball.
And not only do they have a great ERA, they are going deep into the games, and that is fantastic. These 4 guys picking up for Dustin May, that was a blow to the rotation, but the other 4 that have stayed healthy, these guys have been outstanding.
Urias took a perfect game into the 6th inning on Sunday. It's Kershaw tonight. He's gone 6 up, 6 down. It'll be Bauer tomorrow. 7, 8, and 9. Chas McCormick fouls off Kershaw's first pitch. McCormick, Straw, and Maldonado. Talking about it a little bit right off of the top, but the bottom of the order for the Astros not nearly as strong as it usually is. And so they're the number 1 offense in baseball overall. Quite as long in terms of how much of the lineup scares you. It's a little bit in, and it's 1-1.
Both these pitchers doing an outstanding job with their pitch count, getting outs quick. You don't want your pitch count to go up at this point in the order. This is where you make hay as a pitcher.
These guys have faced off twice before, splitting the 2 meetings when Greinke was in Arizona. A 1-2. Just misses in, ball 2. The 3 years together in LA, they combined to go 104 and 34 and had the top 2 ERAs in baseball.
This pitch caused a little conversation. Clayton Kershaw and the home plate umpire. Austin Barnes turned around a little bit on that slider. It's almost like a guy with Clayton's reputation and resume. You earned that strike.
Edwin Moscoso, the home plate umpire tonight, as the count goes full on McCormick. Seventh pitch coming to Chas McCormick, leading off this 3rd in a scoreless game. Kershaw comes downhill, and a sharp roller to short, picked up by Gavin Lux. Dug out of there by Pujols, 1 away. So Kershaw's retired the first 7 in what is his first start in Houston since Game 5 of the World Series in 2017. And so many things about that World Series and about the whole story hard to stomach. I think the hardest thing to stomach is what it meant for Clayton Kershaw. Thankfully, he's gotten his ring since. But you look back at what he did to the Astros in games at Dodger Stadium. Just 1 run in 11 innings. That is pop foul by Miles Straw and strike 1. And you compare that to the game in this ballpark. Game 5, where he gave up 6 runs in 4 2/3. He threw 51 breaking pitches that night and got 0 swings and misses.
Never happened again in his life. Never happened since. You know, there's just no way. They had to know it was coming.
Just to give you a little perspective on that, a couple starts ago, he got 23 swings and misses. This guy gets as many swings and misses as anybody, and didn't get a single one that night. At Dodger Stadium in the World Series, 15 strikeouts, 2 walks. In Houston, 2 strikeouts, 3 walks.
2 1/3. He's got 3 swings and misses already here tonight.
Delivers an 0-2 to Straw. On the ground to Lux, who's been busy. 2 out.
It's a food fight, an MLB food fight presented by MasterCard to determine which ballpark food is the best this year. Fill out your bracket and vote for the Dodgers at MLB.com/foodfight today.
No score bottom 3. The 9-hitter Martin Maldonado climbs in against Kershaw. Astros catcher takes ball 1. Of course, the postseason side of things was a very complicated part of Clayton Kershaw's legacy before winning the ring last year. And to have that be one of the key memories, have that be one of the key components of him not having reached the bar that he sets in the regular season and the postseason, it's a really difficult thing for Dodger fans to look at and try to wrap their minds around. Can you imagine what it was like for Kershaw having that weigh in over him? He's talked about how he feels like so much has been lifted off his shoulders, finally winning the World Championship.
Didn't know how big the burden was until the burden was lifted.
Fires a 1-1. Maldonado watches a strike, 1-2.
Astros very aggressive first time through the order against Clayton. 7 of the 9 of them have swung at the first pitch.
Kershaw looking for another 1-2-3 inning. It's been nothing but 1-2-3 innings from these two guys tonight. And against 2 of the top 3 offenses in baseball, no less. 1-2. He got him with a perfectly placed fastball. 9 up, 9 down for Greinke and Kershaw. No score to the 4th. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Carl's Jr. Try the new hand-breaded chicken sandwiches from Carl's Jr. Feed your happy. And by Jacoby and Myers, the official law firm of the Dodgers. Kershaw and Greinke back as Dodger teammates. Both those guys perfect through 3 innings tonight. Already to the middle innings in Houston. The Dodgers about to get their second look at Greinke with Betts to lead it off.
Threw a lot of fastballs the first time through the order, especially to some good fastball hitting hitters of the Dodgers. Taylor and Muncy and others.
Betts worked along AB his first time, eventually struck out. Here he takes ball 1. Now for Mookie this year, when you compare it to past seasons, the on-base percentage is right where it's typically been even in his best years. In fact, it's exactly what it was last year. But the slugging numbers are down. Watches this one drop out of the zone, lays off, ball 2. What had been homers, at least to this point, have turned into doubles. So he's top 2 in the league in doubles, which is a good thing. But still waiting to hit for that home run power. On a 2-0 from Greinke, takes ball 3. Dave Roberts has described him just simply as in between. He's battled to the back and now the shoulder. Yet to have everything really click.
Well, everyone out there who's had a little tenderness in their back or even a tough back problems, you know that's going to take away your power. Then that front shoulder, left shoulder to a right-handed hitter is a tough one. But That was more of a tough call for Greinke right there.
Yeah.
Mookie.
I think both guys have one of those now where, hey, you know who I am? That's a strike. Kershaw had one, and now Greinke does. The Dodgers have the first base runner.
Join us as the Dodgers take on the Giants at Dodger Stadium for a 4-game homestand beginning Thursday. Save on ticket prices by sitting in the vaccinated sections. Now available on field level and right field pavilion, including all new home run seats. Get your tickets now at Dodgers.com/tickets.
Giants are in Arizona playing a quick 2-game series beginning tonight. Leadoff man aboard. Here's Turner. Fly to center his first time and takes strike one. Dodgers come into the game a half game back of the Padres. Not just for the best record in the division, but for the best record in baseball. Padres had a 9-game winning streak snapped yesterday in Milwaukee, but they have an early 2-0 lead tonight. Good lead for Betts. Here's a throw from Maldonado, not in time. One of the best arms in the game behind the plate.
One of the best base runners in the game at first base. He knew exactly how long his secondary lead could be for his speed and when to get back.
Turner ahead, 2-1.
That back pick is not only to probably, attempt to pick him off, it's also to shorten the secondary lead. So if Turner hits a gapper, maybe Betts gets thrown out at the plate. It's not always that you're picking a runner off or stopping him from stealing a base. Sometimes it's just to shorten the secondary lead.
Two and two.
I bet you a lot of people at home in Southern California are watching this game outside. It's such a beautiful day.
Oh, isn't it perfect?
Yeah. Anybody who has a pool and a television set, I'll bet you they're by it.
Four-pitch walk from Betts to open the inning. 2-2 on Turner. Greinke comes home. Turner waits on it. Swats it to right center field. Towards the gap in the wall. And gone! It kept on flying. Turner with a 2-run shot. And the Dodgers strike first.
He hit one deep to right center in his first at bat. Straw caught it in the right center gap, right short of the warning track, maybe just on the warning track. This one approximately the same swing, but he does get full extension. Kind of a deceptive swing as far as for the power is concerned, because he meets it right at the apex of the swing, and that ball backspins right out of there.
So the Dodgers are the game's first runs. And now Muncy hits one to right. And Tucker dives and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. First home run for Turner since May 4th when the Dodgers were in Chicago. It's been a rough stretch for him, but he takes Greinke deep for the second time.
Still hitting the ball hard, but if you're into launch angle, that's what he's working harder on right now.
Here's Smith. Dodgers 2, Astros nothing. Dodgers looking for their 8th consecutive win. That's by the hands, ball one. Speaking of launch angle, Will Smith, one of the highest average launch angles in baseball since his debut. Will, over his last 20 games, hitting .329. 2-0
Maybe the machine will ask him for a little advice on how to get his launch angle up, because Albert's probably teaching him a lot, his hero. So maybe the student will teach the hero how to hit it in the air a little bit more. With Albert's wheels, he's always trying to hit in the air.
I'm just picturing this conversation. Hey, Albert, come here. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you how to not hit the ball on the ground.
You see these stats here? This is why you should listen to me.
I say, hey, how many bombs do you have, Will, in your career? 26? Okay.
Yeah.
Call me in 640 homers. 3-0. Green light and a pop fly. Altuve. 2 gone. Here's Taylor. Popped out foul ground his first time.
The most expensive Swiss Army knife you'll ever have. He can do it all.
And he's a bargain.
Yeah.
Cracks his bat on a one-hopper to short that Correa steps into and gets Taylor to end the inning. Dodgers get the game's first 2 base runners, and they lead to the first 2 runs after the walk from Betts, a homer from Turner, and it's 2-0 Dodgers to the bottom of the 4th. 2-run home run to open the scoring. This game goes to the bottom of the 4th. And Clayton Kershaw goes back to the mound, having retired the first 9 that he's faced. Altuve, Tucker, and Bregman coming up here in the 4th.
Important shutdown inning, especially in an emotional game.
First one to Altuve is hacked foul, strike 1.
Going against the Houston team that just got swept by the Rangers, only scored 11 runs, 2 in their last game on Sunday. Trying to hold them down and keep them flat. And your offense just scored, which has been the thing that kind of turned around the Dodgers from a cold streak to a hot streak. And they produce.
Perfectly placed to the corner, and it's 0-2.
The department that's on the mound right now, that starting pitching, has been outstanding all the way through the season.
Number 1 starting staff ERA in the majors this year. Mentioned it a few minutes ago, but during the winning streak, a 1.32 starting pitcher ERA. An 0-2 pitch in the dirt, ball 1. And for Kershaw, really this season, 2 big innings. He gave up 4 in the first inning in Chicago. He gave up 4 in the second against Miami on May 14th. Outside of that, he's got a 190 the rest of the year. '11th start here in his 14th big league season. Fires 1-2, and the count evens up.
An arm side backdoor slider to Altuve, who is about 3.5 feet off the plate. He likes to extend his arms. That's why he stays out away in the batter's box. Boy, it's going to feel forever if he threw it out there in the corner.
He rarely throws those arm side.
Yeah, and how big a window does he see from the mound with Altuve where he stands in the box, and Clayton knowing he's throwing a slider at the right-hand batter's box and just trying to catch the outside edge. If you're going to work on a pitch, that would be the visual you want.
Yeah.
Looks wide open. Here they go again.
Yeah, target set outside. Takes off with a fastball. Count goes full.
And the first attempt out there was a slider, the back door. That one was going to be a fastball on the corner, but missed.
Seventh pitch to Altuve is a slider that's chopped to short, and Gavin Lux. 1 gone. Let's check in with Kirsten.
Joe, this past weekend, Cody Bellinger joined the AAA OKC team for his rehab assignment. And today, Cody had a home run in the top of the fifth, his second one of this assignment. Dave Roberts suspects that Cody, as well as Zach McKinstry, could be back with the Dodgers by this weekend.
Some more reinforcements coming for this offense. What do you think of him wearing 55 there?
That number's getting worn out.
I guess.
No matter what city you're in. It's great. Albert wears it well.
One away in the fourth. The hitter's Tucker. Fouls off 92, which Kershaw has touched more today than we've seen at least this month. And we'll check to confirm it, but maybe the most this year we've seen him touch 92.
Feeling froggy.
Ribbit. Curve is ripped on a line into the right field corner to give Houston its first base runner. Tucker with a one-out double.
Clayton's been getting the ball hit on the ground prior to that one. 6 out of 7 of the balls in play have been on the ground. This curveball he elevates. Does a nice job getting under that. Top spins it into the corner. If he'd have backspun it, that would have been really well hit and would have been a home run.
First base runner for Houston. Up comes Alex Bregman. Grounded to third his first time. MVP runner-up in 2019, only to struggle to his worst career numbers last year in the short season. And his season was even shorter. He missed 17 games with a hamstring injury. Kershaw not liking the tight zone from Edwin Moscoso. Feels like he's gotten squeezed a couple times.
That one was borderline as far as low, but it was a strike, and it wasn't borderline inside or out. It was all over the plate. Such a key pitch, that first pitch strike or ball, especially with Clayton, because he likes to go then immediately to the slider. Just changes your eyes. You might get the same pitch call, but where your goal is a little different as far as trying to negotiate the strike zone. The glove in the zone compared to half the glove in, half the glove out. So if you're 1-0, you're probably going a little bit more glove in the zone completely from your catcher, where if you're 0-1 and ahead, you're probably thinking more half the glove in the zone, half the glove out of the zone. More of a pitcher's pitch when you're ahead as far as the goal.
Kershaw home with a 2-1. Ground ball left side under Tucker. Lux fields it and throws Bregman out.
Lux is having a busy day there at shortstop.
The fifth time he's had a grounder hit to him. Runner at third, 2 gone, and a word from Carl's Jr.
It's your hands on the new hand-breaded chicken sandwich and chicken and waffle sandwich from Carl's Jr. Feed your happy.
Up to Yuli Gurriel here with 2 gone. Top 5 in the league in runs batted in this season, 38. For a guy who's about to turn 37. Having his best year here in his 6th year in the majors. First pitch from Kershaw. Gurriel watches ball 1. After a decade and a half in Cuba, he's a Team Cuba legend. The best player of the generation there. Affected when he was in his early 30s. The 1-0. Hitting the ground is short. Tough bounce, but Lux has soft hands and throws him out. To strand a man at third and keep the Dodgers in front 2-0. Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by the SoCal BMW Centers. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. And by Jack in the Box. Dip into this. Grab a box of 15 tiny tacos or get them loaded. Only at Jack in the Box. On a Justin Turner home run, the Dodgers have a 2-0 lead as this game moves along to the 5th. And they look for their 8th consecutive win. Joe Davis, Or Hershiser, Kirsten Watson. Bunch of Dodger blue in Houston. Watching Albert Pujols lead off this 5th.
Kershaw got the shutdown inning. Now the Dodgers looking for a tack-on inning.
Against Zach Greinke, who misses with his first one to Pujols. We're talking about Albert trying to get the ball off the ground. He's hitting it hard, but almost 70% of his batted balls are ground balls. The issue, when he hits it on the ground, his average is 154. When he hits it in the air, anything in the air, so line drives included, that average is well above 300. And that's not just Albert, that's across baseball now with how advanced the positioning is. 2-1. Look at those numbers. Lifetime against Houston. 62 home runs against the Astros. On this 2-1 from Greinke, that's ball 3.
Almost 10% of his total home runs.
Yeah.
Not, you know,
no, you're right.
8-ish, 8.5, right? I don't know the math exactly, but I'm thinking, wow, 62 times 10 would be 620, and he's up there.
Nailed it.
He's up there. Thanks. Appreciate that. God, I love that.
When you nail the math, yeah.
I'm on a roll now.
So good. In the driver's seat here, waiting on a 3-1. Pujols pops it up. Right side of the infield. That is Gurriel.
Be at Dodger Stadium when the Rangers and the Phillies come to town on June 11th through the 14th, and join us on the 11th for the LGBTQ plus Pride Night presented by Blue Shield of California, and the first Friday night fireworks of the season. To purchase your tickets, visit Dodgers.com. LA Pride.
A few days after that will be the first game with 100% capacity, June 15th at Dodger Stadium. Astros reaching that mark tonight. One of 4 ballparks at 100% right now. Arizona going there tonight too. Ball 1 on Lux. Kansas City and Boston both set to move to full capacity over the next week.
If you want to cheer for the Dodgers or against the Astros, they'll be coming here, what, August 4th and 5th?
Mm-hmm.
Here, meaning where we're doing the broadcast from.
Yeah. Beautiful LA. The 1-1 pitch. Gavin Lux watches ball 2. Three and 1.
Zach understands the value, like Clayton, of the first pitch strike, but he also is not afraid of deep counts. He'll use deep counts to help set up hitters, and doesn't shy away from throwing a lot of pitches to certain guys.
Bouncing ball to second for Altuve. Flips it to Gurriel. 2 up, 2 down in the 5th.
If there's a guy in the big leagues right now that doesn't mind a waste pitch, which a lot of pitchers are trying to eliminate, it'd be Zach Greinke. I think that he, not a waste pitch in a way that I'm just going to automatically throw a ball, but to set up, to have a setup pitch for what I'm going to get him out on the next pitch. Zach will definitely up his pitch count using that to set up the stuff.
Beatty with the bases empty and 2 gone. His catchers for years, back into his days in the minors, talk about the stuff he'll do that they don't even know is coming. He'll design pitches mid-game. There's a story from when he was in the minors and called out one of his catchers and said, "Hey, I think this is the perfect place for a cutter. What do you think?" And the catcher said, "Well, sure, but you don't throw a cutter." He said, "Oh, no, I have one. Let me try it." And threw it and struck the guy out. Here's 1-0 to Matt Beatty. Popped out of his hand a little bit. Ball 2.
He's kind of like a golfer. You know, if you perfect the perfect swing or delivery, and then all you do is kind of change the club face and go, I'm going to hit, I'm going to hit a 10-yard fade here. I'm going to hit a 3-yard draw here. Oh, the wind's blowing out of the left. Okay, I'm going to do this off my cheek. That's the way he plays golf as a pitcher.
Like a really, really, really good, annoying golfer.
With a great short game. That would be his off-speed stuff. He doesn't just power drive, drive for show. He putts for a lot of dough.
Yeah, the rest of us just trying to hit the ball down the middle. And
he's carving the course up.
Yeah. Shaping shots. He's gone 1, 2, 3 in 3 of the 4 innings so far. Trying to do the same here in the 5th. There's 2-1 to Beatty. Is fouled off, and it's 2-2. Six-time All-Star, former Cy Young Award winner. Second in wins among active pitchers, trailing just his teammate Justin Verlander. 212 of them. Reaching the 3,000 inning mark tonight. Kicks and deals 2-2. Beatty fouls it off. Got that change up, barely got a piece to stay alive. Jack's not getting nearly as many swings and misses this year as he has in his career, but the contact that he's inducing has been as soft as at any point in his career, and as soft as anybody across baseball this year. Another 2-2. Beatty bounces it to first and Gurriel, and he's retired the Dodgers in order in 4 of the 5 innings tonight. Halfway home in Houston with the Dodgers up 2-0. World Champion Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa, the newest, friendliest, and safest casino resort. Good times. And by Mercury Insurance. Low rates, big discounts, great insurance. On a Justin Turner home run, the Dodgers have a 2-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Clayton Kershaw looks annoyed with something.
He's saying something's all right, and they're holding the game up for it.
Ted Barrett headed over somewhere. I don't think Ted was the delay. I think he's headed over wherever the delay is coming from.
And maybe Clayton was talking to Ted like, Ted, it's okay. Let's just go.
Down there for a conversation with Dusty Baker. Second-year manager of the Astros, 71 years old. The oldest active manager in the majors. Managing for the first time since 2017 when he was in Washington. Dusty, top 15 all-time in wins. He's been to the playoffs 10 times, but still looking for that first world championship. I don't know if this, we keep on our feed from Houston getting shots of the lights. I don't know if they're complaining about something with the view for the hitters. This is one of the first times this season they've had the roof closed. It's a little bit different environment than they've had all year. So apparently that bank of lights we keep getting a shot of just now turned on. And you can't have conditions change in the middle of an inning.
That's right. So with the Astros hitting, if it's actually brighter, easier for the hitters to see the ball compared to. That's why Clayton was saying,
let's go.
It's okay. Let's go. I don't care if they could see it or we don't have to turn them off.
Well, the argument's coming from the Houston dugout, right? So they're worried that it's going to be a distraction.
Maybe the argument's coming from there, or maybe it's the umpires enforcing the rule that conditions need to be the same for both offensive clubs. Definitely something that Clayton doesn't like, especially the role that he is on. Dave looks like he's waving it off, kind of like you can go on. I won't protest the game over that.
See if you can tell. Yeah, you see, it got a little brighter there.
Yep. Significantly brighter.
Yeah. Sounds like everybody agrees that it's not a huge deal, though. And so we move on to the bottom of the 5th inning. Yordan Alvarez to lead it off for Houston. Kershaw's given up just 1 base runner through 4 innings. Kyle Tucker double last inning. And his first one of the 23-year-old out of Cuba is hack foul, strike 1. Alvarez, formerly a Dodger farmhand. Signed with the Dodgers out of Cuba in 2016. Wasn't a big prospect, and believe it or not, the biggest question, in addition to where is he going to play defensively, was is he ever going to hit for any power? So he's grown into this epic power that he's got. Top 5 in baseball history in slugging. Granted, he's only played in no more than 100 games, but he has been a monster in his time in the majors, and people didn't think that he was ever going to hit for power when they were scouting him. Takes this one in the dirt, ball 2. Dodgers traded him to Houston just a couple months after they signed him, before he had even played in a pro game for him, for reliever Josh Fields. Easy to look at it now and say, what in the world were they doing? But National League team, he didn't have a position. He's the DH for the Astros, and they hadn't seen any power yet. Easy to look at it now and say, what were they doing? But makes sense given what they knew at the time. The story goes that Jeff Luhnow, the old general manager of the Astros, asked the Dodgers, hey, how about the guy from Cuba, Alvarez? And Farhan Zaidi said, no chance you're getting Yadier Alvarez, the pitcher. And Luhnow said, no, we want Yordan. And Dodgers said, oh, okay. He looks at strike 3 here. Second time he struck out tonight. 1 gone in the 5th.
Slider that we knew Clayton wouldn't go away from tonight, but the slider usage is slightly down. But he's getting an awful lot of swings and misses with it. And the Astros are 0 for 8, now 0 for 9 on the slider.
Yeah, Kershaw has his 4th K. 1 gone in the 5th for Carlos Correa. Not too many times the guy's going to come up in his home ballpark and hear it the way Correa just did. All the Dodger fans in attendance. Pops it up, and Lux is over there to continue his busy night. They get Correa on 1 pitch. So 2 up, 2 down in the 5th, and up comes Chas McCormick. Correa, in a lot of ways, has become one of the faces of what happened in 2017, not just in that he was right in the middle of that lineup, but some of the comments he made after. Ball 1 to McCormick. Drives this ball in the air to center field. Taylor moving to his left. He's there. And an 8-pitch inning for Clayton Kershaw. The inning wound up going faster than the delay before it for the Lights. After 5, 2-0. Game tonight presented by Pacifico, celebrating a 40th anniversary at a Dodger game in Houston. Just like they did their honeymoon. Not necessarily in Houston, but they went to a Dodger game on their honeymoon. Still happily married. And bonus points for the hashtag. Dodgers 2, Astros 0. Zach Greinke comes home to Austin Barnes with strike 1. Justin Turner with a 2-run home run, counting for the scoring in this one. Only 2 base runners for the Dodgers, just 1 for the Astros. We came on the air talking about how these are 2 of the top 3 run scoring teams in baseball. Couple veteran pitchers quiet in these lineups so far tonight. Barnes flied out his first time on this 1-1. He swings and misses, and it's 1-2.
All these different pitches that Zach throws and all the different speeds and designs of them. If you watch his delivery, he does one of the best jobs in all the big leagues of hiding the baseball from the hitter. Watch the hand as it separates, goes down by a leg and goes straight up the back of his body and then just comes out of his head at the very end. So they never get a clue. Hitters will look at a pitcher taking the ball out of his glove just slightly, like a flashcard, to see if they see white, do they see fingers and skin, do they see a certain angle, and that will identify a pitch. Well, Zach gives you no chance to get a flashcard view of his hand to see what pitch could be coming.
Outside corner to get Barnes looking. One gone in the 6th on his 4th kick.
So when he throws 89, but you're not picking it up till late, it can feel like 93, 94 to the hitter. Really serviced him very well as he's lost his velocities. Broke into the big leagues 94, 95 miles an hour. And now around 88, 89 a lot of times.
Third time through the lineup coming here. Mookie Betts with one gone. Watches one spin in there for a strike.
Back when I was a Dodger, the UCLA vision department came over and tested the whole team just to see what elite vision looked like and what the measurements were. And 2020 wasn't enough. I mean, guys were getting measured at 2010, the best hitters and the guys with the best vision in camp. And they did do some testing with like flashcards of hands and hand positions, because they made it like the ball was coming out of the pitcher's hand. Can you tell what this pitch is? And the guys that recognize breaking balls recognize those flashcards the best also.
Hangs up and left for McCormick. Betts hit it hard, but McCormick is there, 2 away. Brings up Justin Turner. We look at StatCast powered by Google Cloud on his 2-run home run, which, sitting here watching it off of the monitor, off of the bat, didn't look like it was going to go, but it did.
And then I wondered, is the roof closed or open? Because if it's open, maybe there's a swirling wind out to the right. But guess what? The roof is closed.
The only hit tonight for the Dodgers. Turner to left center field. He's got both hits. It was 1 for his previous 28 coming into the game. He's 2 for 3 tonight.
The exit velocities through his slump have actually been higher than when he was hot, but the launch angle and where he was hitting the ball and how he was hitting it were completely different. And now finding some holes and hitting it on the line.
Keeps this inning going for Muncy, who was 0 for 2. Muncy trying to extend a 13-game on-base streak, hitting .467 in that time. Watches a pinpoint fastball, 0-1. Leads the league in on base. He's 5th in slugging. The 0-1. Taken low. You know, Granke, we talk about how he's a one-of-a-kind character. He's also been known through the years to, on a take like this, take a few extra steps towards home and congratulate the hitter on laying off a great changeup. They did say he went around, so no congrats from Zach there. It's 1-1. I'd say good try. Good try, buddy. Two and 1.
That curveball just floats up there. It's got to look so juicy to the hitter, and when it looks so good and so ripe, you want to swing like right away, and that's what you've just bit into the trap. You know, swing early. Oh, it's only 60-something miles an hour.
That's what he wants you to do. 2-1. Ball 3 on Muncy. Staples of the Dodger offense this season has been 2-out rallies.
Once he had a changeup in San Francisco for a home run into the water.
He takes a walk here. Back-to-back 2-out base runners. A word from Morongo.
Good times are calling you. Play with friends. Good times.
Second Greinke walk. They're at first and second with 2 gone for Will Smith. One ball, no strikes. Two on, 2 out, 1-0. Same spot, 2 balls, no strikes.
Justin Turner getting hot, got the base hit. Max Muncy doing what he does well, walking when he hasn't given a strike, and now they've got Greinke in a place where he doesn't want to be. It's uncomfortable. 2-0 to Will Smith. Will's gotten hits in 12 of his last 17 games, so definitely got a shot here to hurt the Astros.
Hitting well above 300 in that span. There's been a bunch of multi-hit games in there. Early on this season, just didn't quite feel right. There's some bad luck sprinkled in there too for Smith. But like a lot of the guys in this lineup, kind of getting hot together lately.
We're looking for a hard hit ball, at least to find a hole. We haven't had many of them tonight, only 5 and 21 hitters. 21 plate appearances, 5 hard hit balls. It's 95-mile-an-hour plus off the bat. Justin Turner's got 3 of them.
He's at second, singling with 2 gone here in the 6th. Muncy at first after the walk. Two balls, 1 strike. Two and 2. One of your keys tonight was RISP plus home run equals wins. They got the home run. Looking to come through now with a runner in scoring position. First at bat tonight in this situation for the Dodgers. Deuce is wild. 2 on, 2 out, and a 2-2. Blocked by Maldonado. Count goes full, and the runners will get a head start.
2-0 meeting was almost a reset for Zach Greinke and for Will Smith. Like it's a new at bat, and that's what Greinke was probably looking for. Those delays are best for the pitcher sometimes if they can execute their pitches, not the hitter. A lot of cheering for both sides.
Runners will go when the pitch comes home.
Zach went deep into his bag of tricks right there for a little inside move to second base, seeing if Justin was a little abrupt in getting off.
Now they go. Here it comes. Ball four to load him up. 3 consecutive 2-out base runners for the Dodgers, and Chris Taylor will bat with the bases loaded. You know, Dusty Baker is in no hurry to go to that bullpen, which has been the biggest issue for the Astros this year. And Greinke had just 80 pitches still.
This is where you just, as a manager, got to sit on your hands like you have a knuckleball pitcher on the mound. Zach will do this a little bit, the way he can work counts and keep hunting the edges. He'll back himself into a corner, but he's found many a way to get out of these corners. It's still a big challenge for Chris Taylor.
Chance to break this game open with Kershaw having given up just 1 base runner through 5. 2-0, bases loaded, and Taylor swats a liner, sinking into center and past Altuve. 2 runs coming to score. Chris Taylor with a 2-run single. 4 consecutive 2-out base runners for the Dodgers.
Chris Taylor's swing was breaking down because of the speed of the ball, but it stays on plane long enough and he hits it right off the end of the bat. You can see the hesitation in the swing, and he just hits it the perfect lob, like he's a clay court expert.
Dodger fans in attendance love it. Taylor with a 2-run single, and they lead 4-0. Smith went first to third on that play, so they're at the corners for Pujols. First pitch slider, strike 1.
You mentioned earlier about Greinke and getting less swing and miss and whiff, and now getting that easy contact. Well, that's what hurt him right there. He was looking for the swing and miss. Chris Taylor gave himself a chance by putting in play.
That's the kind of contact he's induced all year. This one just happened to fall in. Pujols with a chance to drive in another for the Dodgers. He fouls it off, and it's 0-2. He's an RBI, or has 5 RBIs in his 6 games with the team. They're unbeaten, by the way, since Albert came to town.
They're not changing his nickname from Machine to Lucky Charm.
Greinke deals him an 0-2. He takes it in the dirt, ball 1. Joe Smith. On 1-2, Albert takes ball 2, smothered by Maldonado. Two offering. Chop foul. Do it again.
Got something near the middle of the plate. It was a little down.
Now, Greinke coming into the inning had given up just 2 base runners all night. Then he retires the first 2 men in this inning. Turner singles. Muncy and Smith both walk. Taylor singles. The 5th batter he's faced with 2 gone. Brings him another 2-2. A fastball. Climb the ladder with it. Albert stays alive.
He's at Albert, leaning away and losing his balance a little bit to reach a breaking ball. And this last pitch, he threw up around his shoulders at 89. Albert did a nice job staying on top of that and getting the foul ball. You just have no idea what this guy's going to throw you.
Another 2-2 is in there for strike 3. Got him with a fastball, one of the hardest ones he's thrown tonight at 91. But the Dodgers rally with 2 out and double the lead to 4-0 to the bottom of the 6th. Inside the Box Score brought to you by Kona Brewing Company. Kershaw and Greinke both having good nights, especially Kershaw. Just 1 hit over 5 scoreless innings. Greinke had a similar night going before that 2-out rally last inning as they face off for the 3rd time in the career rubber match between the guys, with each having won 1 of the head-to-head matchups.
Clayton's had the breaking ball going, one of his foundation pitches. All 4 of his strikeouts with the breaking ball.
8-9-1 for the Astros here in the 6th. That's ball 1 on Miles Straw. Only hit a double from Tucker in the 4th inning. It's the only base runner. Popped up, playable at 3rd for Turner. He dances under it, makes the catch, 1 gone.
Be at Dodger Stadium when the Dodgers take on the Cardinals in a 3-game series beginning on Memorial Day, May 31st. Enjoy all the new food and beverage offerings in the newly renovated center field plaza, including Shake Shack, California Pizza Kitchen, and more. To visit the Dodgers and to buy your tickets, go to dodgers.com/tickets.
4-0 game, 6th inning. The catcher Maldonado with the bases empty and 1 gone. We were talking earlier about Kershaw and his postseason story. Overcoming what he went through in 2017 to win that ring last year. So one of the things that meant so much to him was when he won, finding out how many people cared the way he cared, how many people were carrying the same kind of burden. He said he hadn't taken into account how many friends and teammates and even fans felt the same pain he felt. Curve just misses, 1-1. But that really impacted him, knowing that there were so many people that cared as deeply, as he found out after he finally won it, saw their reactions. Maldonado punches a base hit into right center.
Seems like Clayton's most comfortable topic is talking about other people and giving them compliments and going out and helping other people. So I think as consumed as he was with trying to win the World Series for the team and for the city, when he hadn't, you're right, that burden, he didn't really think about it that way. Boy, it was a great relief for him.
Back to the top of the order, Jose Altuve looks at ball 1. Altuve 0 for 2 tonight, trying to extend a 17-game hitting streak, second longest to his career. That's a dribbler. Kershaw. There's a fastball to get him at first.
It was a little optical illusion when the ball came off Altuve's bat. Clayton didn't break right away. Thought maybe it was a chopper just straight up or a foul ball going backwards. But then once he broke, he got to the ball and he needed to let that one go to Albert.
Maldonado moved into scoring position. 2 gone for Kyle Tucker. His double in the 4th is one of the 2 hits in this game for Houston. Guy that finished top 10 in the league in extra base hits, top 10 in RBIs, and his first full big league season last year, at least first year as a full-time big leaguer. Hard to call it a full big league season. got off to a slow start this year, but he's been coming on lately. 346, 5 home runs in his last 2 weeks. He's got Maldonado at second and 2 gone. Dodgers 4, Astros nothing. Bottom 6. One and one.
Slider fastball looks like it's right down the middle, but it's not. It's a slider, and it gets to the corner.
Line drive, center field, hangs up for Taylor. Clayton Kershaw threw 6 shutout innings on 65 pitches, and he's got a 4-0 lead. World Champion Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Things are heating up at the Nissan Summer Sales Event. Find the one online or at your local Nissan store. And by Postmates, when all you can dinner is think about Postmates. Dodgers lead the Astros 4-0, looking for their 8th consecutive win. And they are into the Astros bullpen. Who's in, who's out, brought to you by In-N-Out. Greinke leaves and another veteran comes in, the 37-year-old Joe Smith, who's in his 14th big league year.
Well, they're down by 4 right now. You see that ERA at 5.93. He only been in 1 game on the road trip. Had a 0 ERA there with 2/3 of an inning. So he's a guy that they just use to try and get through until they can get to the pieces that really matter if the game gets close or they go ahead.
Now, the bullpen has been an issue for the Astros this season. Smith was a guy who they wanted in higher leverage spots, but struggled out of the gates. He's been better lately in these lower leverage spots. His first one to Gavin Lux over the inside corner, strike 1. Lux 0 for 2 so far. Dodgers only have 3 hits in this game, 2 of them from Turner, 1 of them from Taylor. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Always brings a little excitement and intrigue when a pitcher comes in that has a delivery like this, some unorthodox. Sidearm, underhand, herky-jerky.
Two and two. Astros are the 6th team that Joe Smith has pitched for, much of his career in Cleveland. Had a few years with the Angels, the Mets, the Cubs, the Blue Jays. Is 2-2 is foul. A little earlier start time tomorrow, 4:30 Pacific. Trevor Bauer goes for the Dodgers. He has been dominant against the Astros in his career. Another 2-2 is a little bit in. Full count. Lux goes the other way with a leadoff base hit. First hit of the night for Lux, leadoff man aboard in the 7th.
Life is good for Gavin Lux.
Just the 2nd time the Dodgers have put the leadoff man on tonight. First time they did, Turner followed it with a homer. Beatty's grounded out twice. Watches one sweep in there, strike one. Next game probable is brought to you by your Southern California Chevy dealers. Ball with a sub-2 ERA in his first season with LA. Faces Luis Garcia, who's gotten an opportunity because of the injuries the Astros are dealing with in the rotation. Awkward swing and a miss, 0-2. So Justin Verlander for the Astros. Framber Valdez out with a broken finger. Jake Odorizzi, who they got in a one-year deal, he's out. Jose Urquidy out as well. And so they've had to piece it together. And we talk about the bullpen struggling. A lot of that is a domino effect from the starters getting hurt. Guys leaving the pen to fill spots in the rotation. It's not just the Dodgers. It's across the sport. Just about every team dealing with significant injuries. Beatty reaches out and gets a piece of that one. It was a foot and a half off of the plate.
He needs one near the middle, or at least on the plate. The one that he had the really awkward swing on in didn't look good on. It didn't look good on that one, other than to save himself.
Another 0-2 and another foul ball.
Got one to hit. As a pitcher that's struggling, you don't like that pitch at all. It just tells you that the struggles are still going on. Too much of the plate for an 0-2 pitch. Start beating yourself up, saying stuff like, you can't do that anymore. Let's go.
Another foul. Although aren't you at least saying finally somebody didn't whack it when I put it there?
That's true too. Yeah, I must have good enough stuff. I got a foul ball.
Yeah. Glass half full.
Yeah, don't hurt yourself, patting yourself on the back.
Well, the count is 0-2, but this will be the 7th pitch as Beatty's gone into defense mode and fouled off a bunch. And for the leadoff hit from Gavin Lux, he takes his lead from first. And Smith tries another 0-2. Pop back, out of play again. Beatty's giving all kinds of people souvenirs.
Part of struggling too is not having stuff to put somebody away. Smith came into this game with 13 2/3 innings and only 11 strikeouts, under that strikeout an inning.
On the 9th pitch, Beatty fouls it again. That's the 6th foul ball off of the bat of Matt Beatty.
A foot and a half outside again. And took speed off there at 78 with the changeup.
The pace has changed as they've gone from Greinke to Smith. Fouls it into the glove. He gets Beatty on the 11th pitch for the first out.
88 on the edge, gets another foul ball, but this one ends up in Maldonado's glove.
1-on-1 out for Barnes. The Dodgers went 1 for 17 first 2 times through the lineup against Zach Greinke, but third time through they were able to crack the code. 4 straight base runners with 2 out to double the lead to 4-0. And now into the bullpen. Chance to add on, cushion it for Kershaw, who's only thrown 65 pitches through 6.
Even if it's in Houston, it's good to see stands packed. Full behind home plate there. Can't wait to see Dodger Stadium like that.
Won't be long. On 1-1, Barnes watches ball 2. Barnes, who has an extra base hit in 4 of his last 5 games, fouls this one into the glove. 2-2. So his overall offensive numbers are right around league average, which, as a really good defensive catcher, will happily take. Not quite what he did in 2017, his best offensive season, but the best numbers since. Dribbles this one along third and foul, and it stays at 2-2.
We've seen Austin have his hot streaks and his cold streaks, but actually this year for me he's really growing as a hitter. He's getting more discipline with the strike zone. It looks like he's having better and higher quality at bats more often.
Noli Paredes swarming. Sharply hit base hit for Austin Barnes. Lux headed for third. The throw's cut off, and the Dodgers have him cornered with 1 gone. Bottom of the order getting the job done here. First and third as it goes back to Mookie Betts at the top.
Austin Barnes short and quick to the ball. Foot down and just right on it, squares it up. Gavin Lux does a little hesitation right there. Just a little chop step. Maybe get a reload out in the outfield out of somebody. Willie Mays used to make that play as he round first with outfielders.
First and third, 1 gone. Here's Mookie Betts. Slides inside, ball 1. There's a strike, 1-1. Mentioned Willie Mays. This is the anniversary of Willie's debut.
Wow. Beautiful man. Wonderful career.
He went 0 for his first 12 after debuting. Then he hit a home run against Warren Spahn, Hall of Famer, who Kershaw just passed on the all-time strikeout list. And then he went 0 for his next 12. So he's 1 for 25 to start his big league career. Up from there. He's sitting there 1 for 25 in tears in the clubhouse. And his manager, Leo DeRocher, walks up to him and says, "I don't care what you hit. You're here for your defense. Relax." Ooh, that ball's overthrown. Takes a ricochet that gives Maldonado a chance, but Lux is in there safely, and it's 5-0. Got a little sand in the eye.
Gavin sees it get by and probably thinking he's not going to have to even slide, but the way the ball caromed off the backstop, Maldonado's got an actual chance. Gavin sees that and has to put the landing gear down. Somebody foamed the runway with dirt.
Barnes moved up to second there. 5-0 Dodgers in the 7th, and a 2-2 from Joe Smith. Full count on Betts. So after that conversation with Leo DeRocher, Mays took off. A month later, sitting above 300. Went on to win Rookie of the Year after the 1 for 25 start.
Hey kid, you're here for your bat, all right? But concentrate on defense.
Bounce at a third. Bregman with a running throw to get Betts.
Can you imagine telling Willie Mays you're here for your defense?
He was good defensively.
He was. He was great.
The Say Hey Kid. Had a hard time memorizing everyone's names. So his go-to greeting was Say Hey. Yeah, that's what they nicknamed him. Looks like maybe a pitching change here in front of Justin Turner as Dusty Baker comes out. Rough night for Joe Smith. A run in the bank. The man at second, his responsibility. And Enoli Paredes comes in.
Pujols signs with the Dodgers, takes a tour of Dodger Stadium's facilities, and drives in a run for his first game as a Dodger. And then David Price is acquired by the Dodgers in the 2020 trade, opts out in 2020, but then this year makes the transition from starter to reliever. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers this Friday, presented by Cadillac.
Enoli Paredes comes into the game for the Astros with the Dodgers up 5-0. Paredes, 25 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. Big league debut last year. Put up good numbers for the Astros. Doing it again this year in his first 6 games. Barnes is second. Turner at the plate, and ball 1. Turner started the scoring tonight with a 2-run home run off Zach Greinke in the 4th.
He's applied a lot of power on that hanging breaking ball. Back spun it out of there out by that 370 sign.
Flies this one to right. In the corner, it's Tucker to end the inning. We stretch in Houston. Dodgers add 1, lead 5-0. Time now for the Nissan calendar. 1 game left on this road trip. 4:30 tomorrow in Houston. Trevor Bauer goes for the Dodgers, and it's back home to take on the Giants to continue the stretch of 7 meetings in a 9-day span. Giants right now have a 3-0 lead on Arizona. Second inning in Phoenix. 100% capacity there for the first time tonight. Like it is in Houston tonight. And Clayton Kershaw has put on quite the show. First pitch to Alex Bregman. Strike 1 with a 5-0 lead here in the 7th. That's just his 66th pitch tonight.
Very efficient. Slider's been real good, and the curveball has helped him an awful lot.
4 Ks, no walks, 2 hits. Lofted into left field, back towards the wall, and gone. That short porch, and a home run for Bregman to get the Astros on the board.
Yeah, Clayton tilting his head a little bit in disgust. He hung the breaking ball up in his eyes. A, it's off speed, so easier to pull as a right-handed hitter, and B, it's high if it even makes it back to the strike zone. Easy to hit in the air to that short porch.
Well, Bregman's 6th of the season, and it's a 5-1 game. And up comes Yuli Gurriel. He attacks the first pitch. That's fouled and strike one. Third straight start. Kershaw's given up a home run. Statcast, by the way, has Houston as the only ballpark that ball would have gotten out in, where the Crawford box is down the left field line. Gurriel now sends one in that direction, but he got under it. And Beatty will put it away. One away.
Watch where this breaking ball ends up and on the inner half. So even if you're out in front, you still have enough swing. So the change of speed doesn't get you. The height and the location doesn't get you because it's up there where you'd put a tee and you put it in the bleachers. Clearing that high wall there in left field.
Yordan Alvarez fouls off Kershaw's first pitch. He struck out both times tonight. His struggles continuing. Kershaw has him in an 0-2 hole. And strikes him out looking. 3 of the 5 Ks for Kershaw have been courtesy of Yordan Alvarez. 2 gone in the 7th.
Yordan doesn't think this is a strike, but it is right there on the corner. Perfectly thrown, perfectly caught.
7 outs still to get. If 5 of them are strikeouts, everybody gets free Jumbo Jack tomorrow. That was number 5. Carlos Correa grounded to the hole at short, gets under Lux and into left, and a 2-out base runner for Houston.
It's where exit velocity, I think, can help official scorers. Some balls seem to be hit really hard. Was it about a 2-hopper? 1, 2, 3. A tough hop there. If you glove it, you probably have enough time, as hard as it was hit.
First hit tonight for Correa. First run tonight for the Astros, coming on the leadoff homer from Bregman.
It was scored a hit, and it was 98 miles an hour off the bat.
Chas McCormick, who's 0 for 2, looks at strike 1. Anything 95 and above considered hard hit. Chas McCormick, a 21st round draft pick out of a Division II school, Millersville, Pennsylvania. Never really a prospect, but climbed the ladder and getting his first big league chance this year. The departure of George Springer. 0-2. Springer and Reddick both gone from Houston. Springer to the Blue Jays, saw Reddick with the Diamondbacks the other day. Kershaw strikes him out. A slider drops out of the zone and gets a swing and a miss. His 6th K. He's given up 1 through 7. Dodgers looking for their 8th straight win. 5-1 lead as we go to the 8th inning. Welcome you back inside. Joe Davis and Orr Hershiser. And I know the offense has done something here, scoring 5 runs. But the big story tonight is Clayton Kershaw, who has a chance here to record an out in the 8th inning for the first time in the regular season in 3 years.
Wow. You know, he's been going back and forth on outings, good, bad, good, bad. He's got a chance to have back-to-back good ones, and this one definitely would grade out as a very good one.
Bowling on Muncie from Enola Paredes.
Get the W, get into the National League, be second in the league.
And do it against a very good lineup. Lineup leading baseball, scoring better than 5 runs per game. Muncie had a walk as part of that 2-out rally in the 6th inning. Greinke retired the Dodgers in order, first time through the order. Then in the 4th, the leadoff walk from Betts, a 2-run homer from Turner. In the 6th, that happened with 2 out, 4 straight base runners to bring in 2 more. Grounder to Altuve, who gets Muncie, 1 gone. Altuve's throwing issues this season seemingly fixed, but there was a time there in the postseason last year where it looked like he had the Y word.
Yeah. We're not allowed to say it.
Not the yips, but
the thing.
The thing, yeah. And he has said that, I guess that you often do say this, he doesn't think he had them. But it looked like a sudden inability to throw the ball a short distance, something that he had always done. And actually there were some signs of it happening late in the regular season. 1 ball, no strikes on Will Smith.
Well, if you're not hurt and all of a sudden you are not doing one thing that is one of the simpler things in your game, and it has nothing to do with loss of ability, it has to be a little case of the yips.
Yeah. Had 3 throwing errors in the first 3 games of the ALCS. 2-1 on Smith. And the Astros have had discussions through the years about moving Altuve, moving him to the outfield perhaps, because even before the throwing issues, he's never graded out exceptionally defensively at second. But he's always hit. Three-time batting champ and an MVP. On this 3-1, Smith fouls it off, 3-2.
Will a little upset with himself right there for offering it that one. Thought he should have picked up his 2nd walk of the night. Back-to-back plate appearances.
Swats one the other way, base hit. Smith on for the 2nd time. He's got a 1-out single. And it brings up Chris Taylor. Drove in 2 big runs with a 2-out single in the 6th. Good pick by Maldonado.
I really like his actions back there. Strong throwing arm, the way he performs back there, the target signs, the whole thing. He's got the complete package.
And because the lineup collectively is so good, Astros like to prioritize defense in their catcher. He's not a very good offensive player, but among the best defensively. 2-0 on Taylor. And that's really in everything back there. Grades out as one of the best framers in baseball. #1 caught stealing percentage. He's got a great arm. And he's turned into a leader in a very short time. This is his 2nd stint with the team. But just his 3rd year.
His body language is a lot like Yadier Molina. He does more than just catch the ball and throw it back. You can just tell by look at the way his body language is. He catches it. He stood up in a way to like, I want your pacing to be a little different. He lifted his mask and then he throws it back to you and gives you a little action with the hands. That's huge leadership qualities from behind the plate.
It's like there's a message delivered every time he catches it and gives it back to you.
Yep. Sometimes you'll throw it back really hard, like that was an outstanding pitch. Maybe the umpire squeezed us, but he give it back to you like, yeah, you just keep doing that. I got you. Guy does something right, gets him the ball back really in a hurry to keep him in a rhythm. So subtle, but so beneficial for the pitching staff.
11th year overall, but a lot of that has been as a backup. 3-1 pitch behind Taylor. Actually gets a piece of him. One of the shoulder blades there to put him at first and second.
Just loses it right out of his hand. Looked like he actually slipped a little bit on the mound too. Almost got out of the way.
Maldonado out there as part of this visit. He's out of Puerto Rico, like the guy you said you saw some of in him, Yadier Molina. Grew up on the East Coast in Puerto Rico. Son of a construction worker and a government employee. Played baseball and basketball growing up, but his mom urged him to stick with baseball. She said, Martin, there aren't many Puerto Ricans playing in the NBA. There are a few active players from Puerto Rico in the NBA, but over 30 big leaguers out of Puerto Rico. So he followed mom's advice and has put together a great big league career. It's one of his old teammates here in Pujols. Strike one. Oh, and 2.
These first few games with the Dodgers, Albert has produced. Right about now, I'm starting to think that the newness of being a Dodger is over, and now he's really concentrating on production, grinding out the season. You see some of the facial expressions, shaking his head, kind of coaching himself up. For his first few days in the Dodger uniform, I think he just kept looking down at the uniform and smiling, you know?
Yeah.
Looking over at his new teammates and smiling, his new skipper. Now he's getting in the rhythm of the season.
It's 21st.
Everybody sitting in that dugout that was with the team, but there's not many. Having some memories probably flash back before their eyes.
Yeah, from 17, just 3 active players on the 17 World Series team. Pujols hits a drive deep to left and off the wall. That'll bring home 1. Oh, never mind. It's foul.
Albert looking over at the dugout like, are we going to check that? Little slider, stays on the inner half. No, creeps out to the outer half, but stays up. He puts a good swing on it. Hook's just foul. Tough corner to see down there. It's like at Fenway, the same tough angle.
Takes this one. It's 1-2. Fouls it off, stays alive. Eighth pitch coming to Pujols with Smith at second, Taylor at first. One away in the eighth.
We know Albert wants to hit it in the air. But this is a tough count for him to get it in the air unless they make a mistake. Ever since he hit the hanging slider down the left field line, just foul, they've been sticking with the heater away. So if they do go back to the slider, they are definitely going to think about keeping it down and probably bouncing it.
Another 1-2. It is a slider left in, and he ripped it foul.
He hung it again. This one was hung even more, but a little lower, a little more inside. Yeah, that wasn't close to being fair.
Correa leading this visit.
Maldonado giving the speech, but Correa might have called the meeting. Like, look, when I give you a slider, we're trying to get that to the outside part of the plate. You can't make a mistake in unless you want to give up 3 runs. This guy's got a few home runs, you know.
Yeah, heard of him? It's been the 10th pitch that the young Paredes is having to throw to Pujols. Got him this time as the bottom falls out of the breaking ball. And Pujols is out number 2.
The battle, and he kind of hung it, but he made it break down. Took a little speed off it too. Might have been an attempt at a curveball. That's why it broke down more.
So it's up to Gavin Lux with 2 out. Lux second in the majors, hitting .383 with 2 outs. Takes ball 1.
May has been a good month for him. Raising his batting average significant amount. A couple of grand slams, another homer that drove in a lot of RBIs.
Only Trey Turner has more multi-hit games this month than Gavin Lux. Got a chance at another one here after singling and scoring last inning. Two on, 2 out, and a 2-0 that Lux watchers miss ball 3.
Losing your shortstop on a baseball team can be one of the most significant errors or, problems on a team. And Gavin Lux has really filled in admirably, even above and beyond probably expectation. The bat came alive when he moved to short. The glove has been outstanding.
He just looks more comfortable in every way.
His actions as a shortstop look so much better than his actions as a second baseman. And the shortstop, first base is kind of in front of you as you charge the ball. You're getting closer to first base. Where at second, as you maneuver around at second, first base ends up behind you sometimes. It's a weird throw coming across your body if you don't have time to get your feet in order.
On this 3-1, he watches ball 4 to load the bases. That's going to do it for Paredes. Dusty Baker coming out. Ken Emanuel, you saw a moment ago, is warm, ready to go. And so the 4th Houston pitcher of the night comes on. 5-1, and the Dodgers looking for more in the 8th.
And recently, Gavin Lux was asked about the transition over to shortstop, and he said it's been fun playing a position, of course, that he grew up playing, but he hasn't spent much time there in the last 2 years. So being able to get back over there, take some ground balls, read the plays has been a lot of fun for him. And Joe and Oral, I should add that he said that it's more of a coincidence that his batting average has gone up with him playing shortstop.
Yeah, everything's starting to click for him. Bases are loaded. 2 gone here in the 8th inning. After Lux's walk, Kent Emanuel comes on to pitch. A 28-year-old rookie out of Woodstock, Georgia.
Fastball, slider change. Fastball top out about 94. Some will touch 95.
Matt Beatty, ball 1. Beatty finds himself with the bases loaded again. First career grand slam earlier this season. That remains his only home run this year. Smith at third, Taylor at second, Lux at first. Beatty takes ball 2. Who's in Milwaukee as part of that 16-run outburst on a Sunday afternoon. Overall this year, 5 for 10 in these situations. Chance to really crack it open here. He's ahead 3-0 with nowhere to put him.
A few of these innings, Clayton Kershaw has gotten plenty of rest.
Yeah, almost too much a couple times, huh?
Yeah. And then they had the light delay. When the lights came on, he's like, no, don't worry about it. They can see the ball. Let me pitch.
That is ball 4, and he's walked in a run. Beatty gets an RBI as Smith comes home, and the Dodgers lead 6-1. So the issues for the Houston bullpen continue. And a visit from the training staff.
Tale of 2 games as far as the speed of the game and the pacing really changed when Clayton and Zach Greinke were out there. Even though Zach gave up a few runs, it was moving along. Those guys really enjoy throwing first pitch strikes and attacking hitters. Middle of the game, Zach all of a sudden started nibbling around, trying to figure out a way to keep zeros on the board to keep it close. But then once this Astro bullpen came in, boy, the game kind of hit a wall.
We were through 5 innings in an hour 20.
Yeah, just
I hope Emmanuel's okay. Well, it's not often you see a trainer come out, look at a pitcher's arm, and then they leave him in. And this will not change that trend. Emmanuel's going to leave after issuing a 4-pitch walk. And Dusty Baker will have to come up with somebody else here. Dodgers up by 5 and looking for more. Dodgers 6, Astros 1, 8th inning. Dodgers looking for their 8th consecutive win. And a former Dodger farmhand, Andre Scrub, who's traded to the Astros in exchange for Tyler White. July of 2019. He made his big league debut last year. The issues for him last year was that he was walking too many guys. Got the walks under control, but he's been getting hit really hard this year. And they throw him right into the fire. Bases loaded, 2 gone.
Precarious position for a guy who's having a strong spring training, ended up with a sore right shoulder, his pitching arm of course, and then missed the first 25 games of this year, and now has to warm up a little bit in a hurry. You've got all the time you want, but there's always a little anxiety that everybody's waiting on you, and you can have a tendency to not get fully loose or get all your pitches ready. So you've got to be very disciplined when you're out there, and especially a guy returning from some right shoulder soreness. Major League Baseball and a lot of places at every level of baseball ask these pitchers after an injury to warm up on the field so that there is a little action going on and the field's not just completely empty. Definitely more comfortable to warm up in the bullpen.
Can't just say, hey, I'm going to handle it down here. I'll come in when I'm ready. What's keeping you from doing that?
You're going to get a visit from the umpire, and he's probably actually going to stand between you and the catcher, and nothing's going to happen until you get out there. You got one place you can throw. You got one place you can throw, and it's out there in front of all the people.
Dodgers with 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, and 1 here in the 8th. Loaded up for Barnes, who's 1 for 3. First pitch from Andre Scrub. Outside, ball 1. About to go final in Milwaukee, 7-1. Padres ahead of the Brewers. So San Diego about to get its 10th win out of its last 11. And a Dodger win would keep them within a half game of the best record in baseball. Didn't take the Giants long to get right. They have a 6-0 lead on Arizona in the 3rd inning. Scrub home with a 2-0. Ball 3. Dusty.
I hope he's looking at his lineup card. not praying for pitching, but he probably could be doing both.
Nowhere to put Austin Barnes as a 3-0 flies home, and another bases loaded walk. Another run is in, and it's 7-1.
It's a run on the board for the Dodgers, and it's a low light for the Astros, not really a highlight for the Dodgers.
Bottom third of the order, 3 straight walks from 3 different pitchers. Mookie Betts, bases loaded, 2 gone, ball 1. Mookie's 0 for 3 tonight. Walked and scored back in the 4th inning. His walk opened that inning, and then Turner followed it with a homer to start the scoring. It seems like it was days ago. It's been almost a half hour since Kershaw's last pitch. We hope that the length of this inning doesn't keep him from going back out there. That is 10 consecutive balls.
Scrub has shown that he can spin the baseball and make it move a lot. You just got to land it.
Ball 11.
You don't need a half hour wait when you're throwing the ball as well as Clayton Kershaw is, and he's probably saying, you know, enough is enough as far as runs, guys, but you're not going to tell your teammates to go up there and make an out.
You'll just be more okay with it when they do than you normally are.
Yeah, you run out to the mound to get loose with the sprint, plus to get the blood flowing and maybe steal a few extra warm-up pitches. That's the right thing to do. Keep moving around. Don't stiffen up. I wouldn't be surprised if Dave Roberts has somebody throwing right alongside him right from the very beginning of the inning, in between innings even.
That's the 4th consecutive walk, the 3rd with the bases loaded, and they lead at 8-1. 7th walk tonight for the Dodgers.
Flight from LA to Houston was worth it for the Dodger fans in the audience. They'll get to see another one tomorrow. Start a little bit earlier. They might even be able to catch a late flight from Houston to LA. Gain a little time coming back
on Thursday. Don't tell their bosses that, though. Turner's turn. Strike one. Guess who's warming up? Joe Kelly.
One of the straws that has stirred the drink.
That is for sure. And as things have kind of slowly unraveled here, the drink needs a little stirring. So
exactly.
Turner, who's 2 for 4 tonight in an 0-2 hole, slashes one down the line, foul. It's like a protein shake with clumps of powder collected on top. Stir that thing.
I haven't had a protein shake in 35 years. You're going to have to describe it to me now.
Well, you can picture clumps of protein powder.
Yeah.
Probably clumps the same way these days that it did back then.
Back then, yeah.
1 and 2. Oh, now they probably didn't have shaker cups, did they, with the little aluminum balls?
We were doing it manually,
yeah,
shaker
wow.
cups, and then that's really when it clumped.
On 1-2, Turner watches strike 3. The Dodgers walk their way to 3 more and have an 8-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th in Houston.
Back at the scene of the 2017 crime, Justin Turner going deep the opposite way in a good revenge game, Ned, for Clayton Kershaw as well.
Dodgers have pitched, walked, and hit their way through it.
Trying to win their 8th in a row. We'll see you right here after the game.
All right, guys, and Clayton Kershaw is going to go back out there for the bottom of the 8th inning. It's been what feels like an eternity since he's thrown a pitch. He's only thrown 76 total tonight. Miles Straw takes ball 1. 8-9-1 for the Astros coming up here in the 8th. Straw's 0 for 2. That's fouled into the glove. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You see Clayton's pacing. He's getting the ball and he wants to go. Trying to keep his heart rate up, stay loose, get right back into it.
Doesn't look like he's lost anything.
Nope. The 1-2 count is a good sign.
Well, some defensive changes for you, and that is definitely not it.
Max is at first.
Albert is in left. Yeah, that's not it. DJ Peters in the game in center. Ground ball to short. Lux can't glove it. And Straw's aboard to open the inning. So Peters is checked into the game in center. Taylor moves from center to second. Muncy from second to first.
Curveball, which has been outstanding for Clayton, gets that ground ball. Gavin going to hurry a little bit. Gets a hop up on the heel of his glove. There hasn't been a grading of the play yet. Giving it an error to Gavin Lux.
And so the leadoff man on, Maldonado bounces one to Lux, gives him another chance. It goes 6-4-3. And just like that, Kershaw is an out away from completing 8 innings. He's recorded an out in the 8th inning for the first time in a regular season game since 2018.
He's doing his job even with all that rest. Walking around the dugout, kept his arm warm with the towel on it that we see traditionally. Now Dave Roberts is going to go to the pen.
And not even Kershaw, given this context, can grimace at that. 7 2/3 returning to Houston. An emphatic performance from Clayton Kershaw, leaves with an 8-1 lead. 7 2/3 on just 81 pitches. He gives up only 1 run, strikes out 6, doesn't walk anybody.
And he got plenty of rest throughout the outing in 3 sporadic moments for offense, for the lights, for different things. Can you believe it? Before this 8th inning and Joe Kelly came in, Clayton Kershaw in an hour and 5 minutes threw 11 pitches.
So from the end of the 6th through the beginning of this inning. That's how long the Dodger half innings of work were, because you know they weren't taking that long for Kershaw to get through his innings.
And he came out and threw strikes and attacked and got the double play, and now we got Joe Kelly in there.
Making his return to Houston. Of course, the famous moment late July last year. Knocks Correa down after he had thrown behind Bregman, and then strikes him out and gives him the famous pouty face. Served a 5-game suspension for that. It was initially an 8-game suspension, but reduced to 5 after his appeal. That pouty face immortalized in a mural in LA. Altuve taking ball 1 from Kelly. Artist named Jonas Never on the side of Floyd's Barbershop in Silver Lake. And Joe has said since then that that incident in a lot of ways was motivated by his close friendship with Alex Cora, who was his manager in Boston. And Joe says he hated that Cora and A.J. Hinch were singled out, with the guilty players remaining anonymous. And it was his way of sticking up for his friend. He was his manager in Boston in 2018. His 2-0 to Altuve is in there for a strike, and he said he got all kinds of messages from coaches and players, some that he had never even met, praising him and thanking him for kind of taking a stand. Is 2-1. Is cracked gently to third. There's Turner. Low throw. Big by Muncy. Dodgers face the minimum in the 8th. Kershaw with a great night. Kelly comes on and gets Altuve. Astros are saying hold on. They wanted to check, but they say play on. It is a good out. To the 9th we go. Clayton Kershaw, the story tonight for the Dodgers. 7 2/3, and he gives up just the solo home run to Alex Bregman. Only 2 or 3 base hits total. 4 base hits total over 7 2/3. Plenty of support. Max Muncy leads off the 9th, takes ball 1. Strike 1 from Scrub. Well, the Dodgers trying to move to 12-1 over their last 13 games. In that time, they have a plus 47 run differential. Full count.
Dodger fans are hoping that 5-15 run is just a blip on the screen. It'll be a distant memory by the time you get to August and September. There's a possibility it might be that way, especially with Dodgers getting healthier.
Kirsten reported earlier tonight, good chance that Bellinger and McKinstry both come back by the weekend. It's a healthy rip and a foul. Pollock not too far off. Gonsolin making progress, making some rehab starts. On another payoff, Muncy watches ball 4. That is 8 walks issued by Astros pitching, including 5 over the last, 7 hitters. Five over the last 6 hitters. Yeah. Sorry, Will.
No, it's all right. The last 8 games, this pen has really been awful. ERA over 5. And they just not been able to find the strike zone. Now they're avoiding the strike zone because they're afraid they're going to get hit.
We talked about it a little bit earlier. Part of that is its domino effect from their starters getting hurt and key pieces of the bullpen having to move into the rotation. And so as the starters come back, they're hoping they get a couple guys back into the pen to help that group too. But an area they'll probably need to address as you get deeper into the summer and some trades start to happen. Smith flies it to right center. Tucker will make the catch.
Game started at 100% capacity and still is at 100% capacity. But when we take a look here from the center field camera to the pitch, you're going to see people have started to clear out. Starts to look like they're social distancing, or they're distancing from the scoreboard.
Yeah. Strike on Taylor. Not just tonight, by the way. This is 22 walks in the last 3 games issued by Astros pitchers. That's in there, 0-2.
The old saying, no defense for a walk. Dodgers scored 3 runs on 1 hit and still left the bases loaded.
Grounder into center field. Second hit tonight for Chris Taylor. Seen a couple ground balls up the middle turn into hits tonight. More surprising when they turn into hits than when there happens to be somebody standing there these days. First at bat for DJ Peters, who came on defensively last inning. DJ had a fun weekend in San Francisco. His first experience in the Dodger-Giant rivalry. He got his first career multi-hit game and a last-minute starting nod on Sunday.
Every day he's probably got a new trick in his tool belt from Albert. You've explained that he's kind of Albert's shadow now, especially around the batting cage.
Why wouldn't you be, right?
For sure. And you just never know when he's going to be mentioning something to somebody else that you overhear that really rings a bell and works. So you want to hear everything that's coming out of his mouth. Remember when Sandy Koufax used to come to Instructional League in Arizona when I was in the minors, and it's like the prime seats, because Sandy wouldn't go up in the stands for the game. He'd sit on the bench or in the bullpen. The prime seats were next to Sandy or anybody within earshot. You knew exactly where Sandy was by where the group was sitting. Yeah. Just listen to him and just ask him to explain what he is seeing as he watches the game.
A walk. And they're loaded up.
Brent Strom coming to the mound. These are the days that make pitching coaches a little bit older.
And drive them into the broadcast booth.
Well, thanks. Good timing on that one.
That gives Gavin Lux another chance with the bases loaded. Coming off a week where he had 2 grand slams. Of course, the one on the homestand against Arizona, first one of his career, and then did it again on Sunday in San Francisco.
San Francisco was a blast to one of the deepest parts of the park. Did Trevor Bauer call that?
It looked like it, didn't it? It looked like one of the two did, Bauer or Buehler. I mean, told Trevor Bauer tweeted about it that it was him.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't even know he was on social media.
What the hell?
Oh, yeah, he's the one carrying that selfie stick around and got the camera working.
Couldn't lay off there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I've been teased about my name for a long time. I'll bet you Scrub has been teased about his too through the baseball world, coming up through the ranks. The locker room can be an unforgiving place. You just got to build the calluses up, and you get stronger and stronger every day.
And then play well.
Yeah, play well. And then when some fan yells at you and says, "What kind of a name is Oral?" you yell back, "Famous."
Oh.
Take that.
2 and 2. I thought you were going to say you yelled back. It's Slavic for eagle.
Yeah, it is.
Duh.
Well, you're dealing with facts. I'm just trying to get back at him.
Phil Bickford loosening.
I learned that it was Slavic for eagle from Martina Navratilova when we were shooting a commercial.
Wow.
Sitting on a picnic bench eating a sandwich at lunch. And she turns to me and says, "Oral, do you know what your name means in Slavic?" And I'm like, "No, please rescue me, help me." And she says it means eagle. And I'm like, I wish you'd have been back in my life back when I was like 5 so I could start using that as a defense.
Right. You think this name's stupid? You ever heard of an eagle?
Yeah.
You see those things fly?
A lot of the toothbrushes in my past. Oral B. Oral B, Oral Roberts, all of them. Unbelievable. Dad, why'd you name me that? Son, you're the 4th. It's my name too.
Yeah.
It's a city over in Russia.
Huh.
O-R-E-L with the umlaut over the E. I have never been. Maybe someday.
You should put an umlaut over your name.
Just that's where I sign my autographs. 2 dots over the E.
Yeah. Collector's item. Lux hits it sharply to second. Altuve's there, and they get the out at second, but that's all. Lux can really fly. Fielder's choice, and he gets an RBI out of it.
Yeah, that speed collects an RBI for him. Those RBIs are starting to pile up when you're hitting grannies.
23 now.
Correa, he received the throw there on the bag, but really didn't have much momentum. Is he out? They're going to review it. Oh, it's going to be really close. Is there enough to reverse the call, or will they stick with stands?
Did you ever cross-check Martina?
No. Is it
It is-
wrong?
No, I don't know. I
never cross-check. Why would I cross-check a Hall of Fame tennis player?
That's
No, we'll have to check. Now you got me anxious.
no, I'm sure it's right. I just
Well,
she could have just made that up.
Yeah, she could have been playing a joke on me like everybody else did with my first name. Like, Martina, not you too. Getting on me.
Yeah. Just eat your sandwich. He is safe. He does get the RBI, and the inning extends.
That's unbelievable how close things are now with replay. And you think about, how did I get out of the box? Did I give everything I had on every stride? And that's why I got the RBI.
Two-out chance for Matt Beatty, who had one of the bases-loaded walks last inning. 9 walks taken by the Dodgers tonight. First pitch from Andre Scrub is raked on the ground to first. Gurriel to the bag, and we go to the bottom of the 9th. The Dodgers 9, the Astros 1. Two-thirds of an inning on Sunday is to try and finish this thing out.
10 pitches that day, and inherited a runner that didn't score. He's going to come at you with that fastball around 93, 94. The slider and the changeup. Slider and the changeup are about the, or slider and the curve, excuse me, are about the same speed, but it's just changing the angle of the break.
Tucker, Bregman, and Gurriel coming up against Bickford. Dodgers getting 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, 3 in the 8th, and 1 in the 9th. Strike 1 on Tucker.
Bickford's got a delivery that can be a little bit deceptive, kind of a thrasher, kind of coming at you. The ball can jump out of his hands if he can get it down the hill and get on top of the hitter.
Yeah, the first pitch looked like it was on Tucker before he knew it. Same thing there, 0-2.
He's got a live body, and there's a lot of action there that get down the hill and get closer to the hitter, and all of a sudden that arm whips through. That's some deception.
And then a foul. Bickford, a Southern California guy. A couple Southern California guys going head-to-head tonight. Lucas Giolito and Jack Flaherty, former Harvard Westlake teammates, facing off in the majors for the first time. Pitching coach for those teams at Harvard Westlake is now Giolito's pitching coach with the White Sox, Ethan Katz. And Matt LaCour, who's the head coach of those squads, flew to the game tonight. Flaherty, who's been so good this year, had a tough night. He gave up 7 runs. Giolito 6 innings, 2 runs, 8-3 White Sox, 9th inning in that one. Two and two. Hey, just for the record, again, Albert Pujols is not
at first base still.
No, yeah,
but not in left field either.
Nope, they just can't get him off of there.
They got to put the identification thing on the bench over there.
Right, if they want to keep showing yeah. Albert's name, that's fine. But yeah. Two from Bickford to Tucker. Poke foul. 4:30 tomorrow. Trevor Bauer will try to pitch the Dodgers to a 9th straight win. 13-2, then 5-15, and now about to be 12-1 since the 5-15 slide. So it's 25-3 outside of the 5-15. Another 2-2 pitch. Tucker swats it down the line. That is foul again.
Looking for a pitch he can get him out with. Get that ball off the barrel.
Former 5th overall draft pick, 2015, at a high school in Florida. Dansby Swanson went 1st overall that year to Arizona, and the Astros got Alex Bregman 2nd overall. They're 2 of the top 5 picks. Dodgers 1st round pick that season, Walker Buehler, 24th. Another 2-2 from Bickford to Tucker. The 9th pitch takes off on him and runs the count full.
You know the cardinal sin when you're up 9-1 in the 9th, no out, 3-2 count is walk. So this should be headed to the center of the plate. That's where Austin Barnes has got the glove.
That's where he put it. Tucker hammered it, but foul. Nice play.
You called that one early. My eyes weren't good enough to know that was foul. That was good. Was a shot.
Tucker's reaction, I think, gave it away a little bit.
Not if he was Jock Peterson.
That's true. Jock had 2 homers today.
Yeah. Just thinking back to the one in Chicago.
Yeah. Line drive, center field, base hit. On the 11th pitch, Kyle Tucker gets his 2nd hit tonight.
That was a battle, and He ended up winning it, but it was a very productive at bat. A few different barrels, one to the left field side of the field for foul, one to the right field side for a home run, foul, and now up the middle. Might have been a broken bat, but he used every field.
Bregman, who's accounted for the Astros' only run tonight with a solo homer to lead off the 7th against Kershaw. Ball 1. Those gloves have the throwback color scheme on them, don't they? Those batting gloves.
Yep. The rainbow. Not the traditional rainbow that went in the sky. The Astro rainbow. Orange and the yellow one.
Opposite field hit Bregman. Back-to-back hits for the Astros to greet Phil Bickford here in the 9th.
Last game in San Francisco was supposed to be a laugher and then got too tight at the end.
A little bit of a trend for the Dodgers. They've gotten big leads in games. Gurriel 0 for 3, 1 for his last 13. He started to cool off a little bit. Looks at strike 1. Yuli last year hit a career low 232. His OPS is below 700, which is right around league average. And he's admitted since that he wasn't in great shape. And the fact that he was going to be a free agent at the end of the year, thought about it too much. Weighed on him. He signed a deal actually before the end of the regular season last year to stay with the Astros for another year, +1 on the contract. And then he got to work immediately when the season ended with a very strict diet, very hard workout routine, and dropped 15 pounds. Turns 37 in a couple weeks and putting together the best offensive numbers of his career. Down 0-2 against Bickford. It's a bouncing ball to short. Lux to second 1. Taylor had a hard time getting it out of the glove and then threw it by Muncy. Tucker comes in to score 9-2.
Pretty routine double play ball, and Chris Taylor will tell you it was so routine he just had the trouble in the exchange, and then the throw was a kind of a panic throw to quickly get it over there, use all of his arm strength to maybe rescue the double play. Ended up throwing it away. Just couldn't get the handle.
Second error tonight for the Dodgers. No RBI there for Gurriel. Fielder's choice with an E4. So it's 9-2 now. Runner at first, 1 gone. Yordan Alvarez stands in and fouls it off. He's just happy to have anybody other than Clayton Kershaw in there. Kershaw struck him out all 3 times.
.312 batting average has been built throughout the season, but he comes into this series very cold. Dusty Baker with some quotes about how in between he is.
He used the word lost. Behind 0-2 again. .23 years old, but his teammates say that he acts like he's 40. Quiet and serious, business-like he is. Not a whole lot of joking going on. With a 6'5", 230-pound slugger from Cuba. Who waits on another 0-2. That takes it high and away. Ball 1. 2-2. It sure doesn't sound like a capacity crowd in there anymore. It's echoing through there like somebody broke in with the cardboard cutouts and is getting a chant going.
Remember when like the grounds crew would sit together amongst the cardboard cutouts, and you'd hear some cheering just from the grounds crew?
See some cardboard cutouts move, and it's like, oh wait, no, that's actually human.
Yeah.
Shot down the line, slicing, foul. Another 2-2. Another foul ball. And with that pitch count climbing, 23 now for Phil Bickford, Dennis Santana has started to warm. Two games in one tonight. Pitchers duel through 5 between Kershaw and Greinke, and then the back half of this game. Dodgers chase Greinke in the 6th. Nobody coming out of the Astros pen had it tonight. Racked up the walks. Bickford looking for the last 2 outs. Another 2-2 to Yordan Alvarez. Got him swinging.
High cheese. Alvarez pretty much got himself out on that. That was a ball out of hand, but with the velocity and being lost at the plate right now, kind of in between. You can be in between on speed, and you can also get in between on what's a strike and what's a ball.
Two gone, and it's Correa, who's 1 for 3. Big year for him. He's headed for free agency like a lot of these top-level shortstops. And out of the big group of shortstops, he might have the most to lose or gain here in his final season going into free agency. Former first overall pick, former rookie of the year, all-star when he was 22. But he's dealt with injuries the last few years. He's one of the best in the majors when he's been healthy, but it's not been very often the last few seasons. Now, reportedly, Houston offered him a 5-year, $125 million contract this spring that he turned down. And you don't blame him when he sees Francisco Lindor get 10 years, $340 million. One ball, 2 strikes. Said he wants a big, long contract, and quote, they made it clear they don't believe in those. Put a deadline of opening day on those discussions, and so as soon as the season started, they shut it all down. And the Astros want to keep him. Sounds like they're going to have to wait till the offseason to accomplish that. Bickford home with a 1-2 in the dirt, ball 2.
When you start turning down that kind of money, you got to have a really strong conscience to go out and go work, and you better have a really good insurance policy if you can on your body, especially the key parts.
Yeah, so it all makes sense when you see that a lot of people think that he has the most to gain or lose this year, turning that extension down. Chases here, and that does it. The Dodgers rout the Astros in their return to Houston. 9-2 the final score. Offense was plenty, but Clayton Kershaw the biggest story tonight.
No matter how long Clayton had to wait to get back out there because of the offense or any other delay in the game, he came out and he was stellar.
gets an out in the 8th inning for the first time in the regular season since 2018. The Dodgers add on late against the Astros bullpen. Very patient approach, a bunch of walks, and an 8th consecutive win. A 12th out of their last 13 games. They're now 30-18, a half game off of the pace for the best record in baseball. For Orr Hershiser, Houston Watson, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Houston. We'll talk to you tomorrow night.